Many school boards across the Greater Toronto Area have identified the need for more diverse teachers in the classroom. One school board has decided to do something about it. Last night, the Durham District School Board hosted an event in Pickering that specifically focused on recruiting teachers from Black communities. Joining me now from Whitby, Ontario via FaceTime is Eleanor McIntosh. She is principal of Ajax High School, chair of Durham Black Educators Network. Welcome to the program, Eleanor. I want to know how that event went last night.
Well, you know, it was an amazing success. Standing room only. We did some advertising on social media, and we cannot believe how positive it was, and the energy in the room was just so overwhelming.
Did it seem a little weird, though, you know, only Black teachers need attend?
No, I don't think it's weird at all, actually. I think it's actually a bold and a positive step forward, given what we know is going on right now across the GTA in our schools and the disparity that we know some of our students are facing, Black students in particular.
So what does that disparity, what are the ramifications of that disparity?
Well, how this shows up in the classroom is that we see that many of our students, they're not graduating. They potentially could be dropping out of school. They're becoming more and more disengaged. They're not motivated to stay connected to education, which we know is so valuable and important to their future access to anything in their lives. We also see many students, because they're not engaged in the classroom, that we have differences in discipline, right? And so students who are not engaged in the classroom, they channel that energy into different places, and then sometimes trouble can emerge.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. For students to excel, they need good leadership, which is a teacher in a classroom. But is it about being a good teacher rather than a Black teacher?
I think it's both. You know, it's important to understand that students need to see themselves reflected in the classroom. They need mirrors and role models in the classroom that allow them to affirm their identity. The research says very specifically that, you know, when Black students have a Black teacher, they have that affirming type of opportunity in the classroom. We know that in our communities in Durham, the census data is very clear. Pickering and Ajax have the highest percentage of Black populations in the Durham region. And so we want to make sure that our schools and our classrooms reflect that diversity that exists in the community. It should be on par.
Yeah.
And so with excellence and leadership in the classroom, that comes in many shades. But we know for our Black students, Black teachers, and all students benefit from those leaders. What
were some of the stories you heard last night? I know you spoke at the event, and we're getting a chance to speak now, but what did you hear from teachers who attended?
I heard a lot of people, and it wasn't just teachers. We had people from a variety of different professions who attended looking and seeking employment. And they said it's a long time coming. They talked about their own personal experiences in schools and the lack of representation and diversity that existed in their own narrative, in their own classroom spaces, and how something like this really sends a strong message to the community.
How should Asian teachers, white teachers, Hispanic teachers take this?
I think it means that for all staff, all representations, all identities that exist, that representation matters. And we have to think about when we're thinking about all of the students that sit in front of us, how are we validating and affirming their identities? And so whether you're white, whether you're Asian, whether you're Black, we have to be paying attention to the needs of the students in front of us. And however that comes out is important. And so as long as we're being attentive to that, then that to me is the most important thing.
What's the next step then?
For us as an organization, I mean, this was a beautiful partnership and synergy. We're hoping again that we will offer this in the fall. Because we know that with the success of what we saw today, the word is out there. And we don't want this to be the last. We want this to be the first as we're evolving our equity and inclusion strategy here in the DDSB.
Eleanor, I'd like to talk again, further on down the road, see how this is going and what the response has been. I think that would be a really good follow-up. I want to thank you for your time today, though.
Oh, you are most welcome, and thank you for having me.
Eleanor McIntosh, principal of Ajax High School.